If you want something you've never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done. Hi, everybody. Ben here from Philippines Extremes, coming to you live outside of Cebu City in Ibabaw, Cordova. Yesterday, I took a poll asking my subscribers what content they wanted to see next. And the most popular answer was doing another food donation for a needy family. Now, that process is in the works, but there were also several votes for continuing on with some advice about moving to the Philippines. And people also want to see a walking tour of Cordova. So I'm going to do all three. This video will be about 3 lies often told about Cebu City. First of all, I want to say this off the jump. Now, a change of latitude is going to change your attitude. So despite wherever you decide to move to in the Philippines, regardless of where it is, it's going to be great. But I'm encouraging people in this video to check out Cebu. Now, you got to understand, think about it like this. When you're in your home country and you move to a new area, you don't know the surrounding areas, and you only know what's in your little bubble around you. So you learn over time, where's the best place to shop? Who has the best prices for this? Where's the cheapest gas? Where's the best deal on everything? And that takes time. So when people come to Cebu and they don't know the area very well, they tend to just be learning their surrounding area and talking about that. They haven't really branched out into other areas to discover what the other prices are. So the first myth or lie you often hear is that it's too expensive. Okay? Now, I've posted videos showing our budget, showing our cost of living, showing the price of our apartment. And if you watch those, you're going to see that it's pretty affordable. To put it into perspective, I pay $80 a month for my apartment. I do live on Mactan Island, which is right across the ocean from Cebu City. But if you head straight across the CC-Lex Bridge, you're in the heart of it, and it's like 7 or 8 minutes to get across that ocean. If you look on Facebook Marketplace, you can see apartments in the same range as what we got here. Now check this out. Just the other day, one of my neighbors is moving out of his house that he's been renting. I got to talking to him, and I said, "So how much is this place? It's really big, and it must be expensive." He said, "Yeah, it is." And I said, "Really? How much?" And he said, "I'm paying $5,000." I was like, "What? You're paying $5,000 for this?" It has a huge yard. He's growing vegetables. He's got a goat that roams around out there. It's a huge property. The house is 2 stories, 3 bedrooms, nice bathroom, nice kitchen, phenomenal place. And he pays 5,000 pesos, okay? I pay 4,000 for my apartment. But you can have a house right outside of Cebu City for 5K. 5K. When you say Cebu is more expensive, I disagree with that. So, number 2, Cebu City is overcrowded. That really depends on perspective. Do you come from a small town? If you do, and you move to Cebu, of course, it's going to be crowded. But if you live in a place like Seattle or San Francisco or LA or New York, then Cebu City won't seem crowded to you at all. It all depends on your perspective and where you're coming from. In my opinion, the downtown area of Cebu City gets crowded. It does. But is it unmanageable? Compared to Manila, I would say no. In Manila, it's wall-to-wall people all the time and weaving through crowds and trying to get around everybody, especially at lunchtime and 5 o'clock when everybody's getting off work. It's chaos. But down here, it's relatively manageable. So to me, from my perspective, it's not overcrowded. And in the surrounding areas, especially over here in Cordova, my goodness, it's not a problem at all. So, in my opinion, the crowds are completely manageable. And that again boils down to where you're from and what you are used to. But is it overcrowded? I think not. And then the third thing that people always complain about is Cebu City traffic. Now, I hate to be a broken record, but that's all coming from a person's perspective. You have to understand, again, you're coming from someone's limited scope, what they experience in their bubble and where they lived at previously. So when I lived up north, I actually lived in a pretty small province up there, and traffic was a nightmare. So, I mean, we would be on a motorcycle and get stuck and not be able to move for 20, 30, 40 minutes. And then you'd get to move just a little bit. And the advantage of being on a motorcycle is you can kind of weave through that. But even then, we would get stuck in traffic. Now, here, that has not happened to us, not once. And I came here in the heart of tourist season, and now it's winding down, and there's been no big change. It's all just been relatively smooth. Now, when I was getting these done, I was going to the dentist every few days. And we had to hop trikes, and then we had to hop on sometimes a Jeep, and then get to the taxi. And we'd go on the taxi back and forth. So different times of the day, at lunchtime, and in the evening when everybody's getting off work. And we were never ever stuck bumper to bumper for hours. I mean, we would leave the dentist and be home within 30, 40 minutes. And that's, heart of Cebu City in rush hour. So in my opinion, the traffic here isn't that bad. So my perspective, coming from some bigger places, bigger towns where I came from, the traffic to me is a joke. When people say, oh, it's terrible in Cebu, it's terrible traffic. I personally haven't experienced that. And in fact, if you compare fish prices to the fish prices up north, Cebu is cheaper. So it just depends on in the Philippines, there are so many different nooks and crannies. There's a market here, there's a fish market there, there's a vegetable stand there. And as foreigners, we're going to get overcharged, right? But if you live in a place long enough and you frequent it long enough and you adapt a little bit of the language, your prices aren't going to be exorbitantly high. They're going to be like the locals. And I have devoted sellers that I go to, and I pay exactly the same as what everybody else pays at those ones when I buy veggies and when I buy fish. So, is Cebu comparatively overpriced? Is it overcrowded? Is the traffic unmanageable? In my opinion, no. Cebu City is a phenomenal place, especially if you live on the outskirts of it. That's my opinion, coming from my perspective, and I encourage people to check out Cebu. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And that, my friend, is the challenge. Come to the Philippines. Check out Cebu. Might be for you, might not be for you. But don't believe the myths that people are perpetuating online.